Good afternoon, Delaware County, and welcome to the first Delco Baseball Now game of the week here at Ridley High School as the Raiders take on Lower Merion. Brendan Ricciardi here. David Chapansky will join us momentarily when the Blue Route traffic decides to let him through. But for now, you're stuck with me. We got a good one today as two teams fighting for their playoff lives here. Lower Merion coming in at 5-8 in the Central League. Ridley coming in at 7-6. They've won 5 in a row to get back to this point. We'll get you some starting lineups here from a game that both teams really need in their quest for the playoffs. Get things started on the Lower Merion side here. Leading off, the third baseman, Aiden O'Quinn, batting second. The center fielder, Charlie Parsons. Nick Draggett, the first baseman, bats third. Brendan O'Gara, the right fielder, will bat fourth. Leo Ufberg, the catcher, he will bat fifth. Peyton Spiegler will play shortstop and bat sixth. Justin Hecht on the mound, he will bat seventh. James Given, the designated hitter, will bat eighth. And batting ninth, the left fielder, Ryan Scholes. Still getting underway with the infield-outfield here. It's also a tribute game for Ridley here after the passing of the mother of Evan Nangle back in the fall due to colorectal cancer. They were all wearing kind of royal blue-ish shirts in honor of that before the game. So we're thinking of the Nangle family here today. So we're getting set to get things going here for one of the last Central League games of the year. The Central League season will end next Monday, so most teams have 3 games left to go before the playoffs end. Now, at this point, before the playoffs begin, Ridley is currently sitting in a playoff spot. They're sitting in the 21st seed out of 24. Lower Merion currently at 25 out of a possible 24 teams. As of right now, not quite in the big dance, but a win here could go a long way. They also play Upper Darby on Wednesday, Garnet Valley next Monday. If they win 2 of those games, they might be able to sneak in. You can get in at 8-8 potentially. 7-9, maybe not so much, so we'll see. But for the Ridley's sake, a win here will put them in a very good spot. They likely could make it in at 8-8. 9-7 should have them safe, as both of these teams are in the PIAA District 1 6A bracket. We'll be right back here for the pregame introductions. You are listening to Brendan Ricciardi and the Delco Baseball Now YouTube network. Back here for the Delco Baseball Now game of the week, Jake Mansfield will be on the mound for Ridley. We'll once again read through the Lower Merion lineup. We'll go defensively for the Ridley side first. From right to left, Brendan Soper at first base, Aiden Wong at second base, Luke Ladislaw at shortstop, Nick Pollock in in third base. In left field, Logan Bubb. He will be DH'd for by Evan Nangle. Jaden Carney in center field, and Tim Calamita in right. Behind the plate, our reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Jaden Davis. Of course, Jake Mansfield will be on the mound. Let's get you that starting lineup here for Lower Merion. Once again, leading off the third baseman, Aiden O'Quinn. Batting second in center field, Charlie Parsons. Nick Draggett will be the three-hole hitter and play first base. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Brendan O'Gara. Leo Ufberg, the catcher, bats fifth. Batting sixth, the shortstop, Peyton Spiegler, not his older brother, Justin. We have Justin Heck will pitch and also be batting seventh. James Given, the designated hitter, bats eighth. And Ryan Scholes in the left field bats ninth. Got the home whites for Ridley, road maroon here for Lower Merion. If you're just joining us, both of these teams could really use this game. Ridley has came from the dead. They were 2-6 in the Central League. They've came all the way back there, now 7-6, playing for their playoff lives here. If they win this game, there's a very good chance they can make it in at 8-8. As for Lower Merion, they currently sit at 5-8 in the Central League. So to say they need this one is an understatement. If they lose this game, they likely will not be heading back to the postseason for the third straight year. They theoretically could make it in at 7-9. It would be tough. 8-8 could definitely get them in. It's gotten a lot of our teams in here. And it looks like we're just about ready to go here at Ridley, our first ever Delco Baseball Now game of the week at Ridley High School. First ever game of the week, including Ridley. It's the second appearance for Lower Merion. They lost 3-2 to Conestoga last year, and it looks like we are just ready to get started here. First pitch from Jake Mansfield. That ball is hit well into left field, ranging back and making the catch. One pitch, one out here in the top of the first inning, making the catch out there in left field will be Tim Calamita for out number one. Once again, Brendan Ricciardi here. David Shapansky will be joining us shortly. Blue Route traffic doesn't always allow you to get here on time. Charlie Parsons, the batter here for Lower Merion. First pitch from Mansfield catches the inside corner for a called strike. Mansfield was a second-team All-Delco selection for us last year in the two-way slot. He's once again been doing it on both sides of the ball as well. Leading the Ridley team in innings pitched here. That pitch is grounded over to third base. A tough hop. It's going to be bobbled, and there's no throw over there at first base. Charlie Parsons reaches on an error to give the Aces an early base runner. It's a tough hop over there at third base. There's a big lip over there. It's going to go down as an error in the books, but it was definitely a tough hop for Nick Pollock there. Kind of jumped up, hit him in the chest. Either way, Nick Draggett will be the batter here. The towering lefty steps in. Brendan O'Gara, Leo Ufberg, Peyton Spiegler wait on deck. First pitch is outside. Bit of a three-quarter delivery from Jake Mansfield. Not sure if I'd quite call it sidearm, but he definitely kind of gets down there a little bit. Draggett takes that one up and away. He's hitting .425 on the season at 1125 OPS for a Lower Merion team that has really struggled at the plate. They have not scored more than 3 runs since April 10th. Strong starting pitching has gave them a chance in a lot of these games. But the offense has been a struggle. Mansfield throws over, not quite in time. With Draggett hitting .425, Charlie Parsons at .314. Nobody else on the team is over .275. Leo Ufberg next up at .273. Pitch here to Draggett. Beautiful two-seamer. Catches the inside part of the plate. If you tuned in last week, tough internet connection at Springfield, so it looks like we got a little bit better of a setup here at Ridley. Parsons is going to take off. Swing and a miss on the pitch. Davis fires down to second. He is safe. Just gets his hand in. Great throw by Jaden Davis. But Charlie Parsons got a great jump and was able to get in there safely. It's a bang-bang play. Can't really see from here, but didn't really seem like too much contesting from either side. So now runner in scoring position. One out here for the Aces top hitter, Nick Draggett. Dragic pops that one up in the air to shallow left field. Looks like Calamita is going to come in. See, lose that one in the sun. He's going to make the catch. Parsons will advance over to third. I thought he might have left a little early there. It looks like they're going to try and throw it back to second. Nothing on the appeal. Leo Ufberg, the catcher, will step in. Excuse me, Brendan O'Gara, the right fielder, will step in. Delco Baseball Now intern. He helps us out with our college baseball roundup. Takes a slider in there for a called strike. Of course, I'm biased as a fellow Brendan. We got two Brendans on the field today. Brendan Soper for Ridley playing first base. Charlie Parsons on third base. O'Gara smacks that one into left field. Tim Calamita ranging in, dives, he lays out, and he has got it. All three catches made in the inning by Tim Calamita in left field. A sliding one to keep Lower Merion off the board in the top of the first. We'll head to the bottom of the first here at Ridley with the game still scoreless. Back here for the bottom of the first here at Ridley High School for the Delco Baseball Now game of the week. Brendan Ricciardi here. I can see from the distance David Chepansky has just arrived in the parking lot, so we'll get him on the call soon. We'll get you the Ridley starting lineup in the meantime. Leading off the second baseman, Aiden Wong. Nick Pollock, the third baseman, bats second. Jaden Davis, the catcher, bats third. Jaden Carney, the right fielder, in the cleanup spot. Brendan Soper, the first baseman, bats fifth. Evan Nangle, freshman designated hitter, bats sixth. He is batting for Logan Bubb, the center fielder. Tim Calamita, who made all three catches in that inning, he bats seventh in the left field. Batting eighth, the pitcher, Jake Mansfield, and Luke Ladislaw, the shortstop, rounds out the lineup. They will be taking on Justin Heck, one of the identical twin brother duos here, along with Brian for this Lower Merion team. Justin's thrown 24 innings pitched this season. He's allowed 13 earned runs for a 3.79 ERA. Justin will not be playing college baseball. He'll be heading to Auburn University in the fall. Brian, his twin brother, first team All-Delco selection for us last year. He will be heading to Penn State. Again, most likely not playing college baseball. I've heard from his dad that he is going to at least try to walk on to the varsity team, potentially play club. And as a Penn State club baseball alum myself, I am endorsing that fully, as Brian's been a great pitcher for Lower Merion the last couple years. Get you the defensive alignment here for Lower Merion as Aiden Wong's about to step in. Go from right to left. The first baseman will be Nick Dragic. Second baseman will be Trevor Roman. The shortstop, Peyton Spiegler. The third baseman, Aiden O'Quinn. As Aiden Wong steps into the plate here for Ridley, first pitch from Heck is going to be a slider on the outside part of the plate for a called strike. Right field to left field, Brendan O'Gara. In right field, Charlie Parsons. In center, Ryan Scholes. In left, behind the plate, Leo Ufberg. That one's a bit downstairs. David Chepansky will be joining us momentarily here, which is good because I don't like doing play-by-play. I'm ready to do my color. Two-seam fastball range is a bit outside here for Aiden Wong. Wong currently hitting .271 on the season. That one's popped down the right field line. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere here. Looks like Brendan O'Gara is going to try for it. It's going to fall. It's going to fall in the middle of all of them. Aiden Wong ranges into second base here with a leadoff double. The wind kind of caught a hold of that one a little bit here and kind of fell in the middle of three guys ranging for it. Nick Pollock steps in here batting second. He had a great week last week, including a walk-off single over Strathaven on Monday. He's emerged as a nice top-of-the-order bat for the Raiders, who don't necessarily rely on one or two star players. They have a lot of players that are all hitting around high 200s, low 300s. Squares the bunt, pulls it back. Looks like Pollock's going to try and get this bunt down for the middle of the order, Jaden Davis and Jaden Carney. Squares the bunt once again. Pulled that one back with Nick Draggett about 2 feet away from him. Draggett's lucky he didn't try and swing. Might have been a bit of an aggressive move from Draggett to get that close. Pollock once again squares. He's going to get this one down. It's going to go over to Justin Heck, who's going to take his time. Fire to first. He's going to be out. Sacrifice is successful here for Nick Pollock. He gets that done. That'll bring in Jaden Davis. He might have been our defensive player of the year last year. He has really turned things around offensively in his junior season here for Ridley. Currently leads the team in hits with 15, a .319 average, and .942 OPS. Corners are in here for Lower Merion. First pitch here to Davis, takes an off-speed pitch on the outside part of the plate for strike one. A lot of 12-6 movement on that one from Justin Heck. For Lower Merion team that has struggled to score runs this year, they're not taking any chances. They're trying to get this run at the plate. Another off-speed pitch, swing and a miss by Davis. Jaden Carney waits on deck. Oh, 0-2 pitch here to Davis. Pops that one up in the infield. That likely will not get the run in. Caught in shallow left field. Huge out for Justin Heck to keep that runner on third base. Play made at shortstop there by Peyton Spiegler, and that'll bring in Jaden Carney. Carney transferred from Bonner last season, kind of transferred early enough in the spring that he didn't really get a varsity opportunity as a sophomore, but as a junior has been one of the most consistent bats for this Ridley team. Currently hitting .324 on the season. First pitch here from Heck. That ball is going to be smoked into left field. Going back to the track, to the wall, and that one's going to bounce in front of the fence and look like clear it. Believe that is going to be a ground rule double. There haven't been any signs yet, but that one's certainly out of play. Either way, that ball was smoked by Jaden Carney. It's going to be a 2-out RBI double on the first pitch, and the Raiders lead it 1-0. It's a bit hard from our vantage point. I didn't think that one went over the fence off the bat. But a ground rule double here for Carney. Beautiful swing. And really jumps ahead 1-0. That'll bring in the 5-hitter for this Raider team, which will be the first baseman, Brendan Soper. Still a runner in scoring position here for the Raiders. Jaden Carney leads off second base. First pitch to Soper, swing and a miss. A very talented freshman, Evan Nangle, waits on deck. First pitch to, another pitch to Soper here. He cuts on a high fastball, and Justin Heck now ahead 0-2. Oh, to pitch to Soper, swing and a miss. He got him. Justin Heck picks up a strikeout to end the inning, but not before Jaden Carney RBI double puts Ridley ahead 1-0. We'll head to the top of the second here in Ridley. The Raiders lead at 1-0.
Welcome back to Delco Baseball Now's Game of the Week. David Chapansky with you alongside Brendan Ricciardi. Brendan, you did a great job holding down the fort in the first inning.
I feel like when they let what's Scott Fransky's Kevin Stocker, when they let him do the fourth and fifth inning, in the middle of the game to get him some reps here. But hey,
well, you did a great job in the first inning, and we are back to work. 1-0 lead for the home Raiders. First pitch to Ufberg is fouled at the plate. It's 0-1 to Leo Ufberg. Again, the lineup, as Brendan so greatly introduced in the beginning of today's broadcast for Lower Merion: O'Quinn, Parsons, Draggett, O'Gara, Ufberg, Spiegler, Heck, Given, and Scholes are the 9 for the Lower Merion Aces. Great matchup, though, and great day for baseball.
Absolutely.
It really is.
We've been blessed. Last year, there was a lot of cold games. This year, we've gotten some good ones, even starting on opening day with that Haverford School and Friends Central game.
One pitch is upstairs. It's 1-1. Really, once again, similar to that game on opening day at the Haverford School. Not a cloud in the sky. Nope. It is a picture-perfect day here at Ridley High School. 72 degrees, the 1-1, just off the plate outside Ufberg. It's 1-2. Ufberg this year has got much more playing time for Coach Quinn and the Aces, hitting .273 with a .333 on base percentage. The 1-2 pitch from the righty Mansfield is chopped on the ground over to short. Ladislav is up with it. His throw is a strong one across the diamond for the first out of the top of the second.
Dave, I don't know if you are aware of kind of like the stakes of this game in terms of the fact that both teams really need this one for their playoff race. For Lower Merion, I think it's fair to say a loss here probably knocks them out. I'm not sure they would get in at 7-9. For Ridley's sake, if they win, they could really use this one.
Here's Peyton Spiegler. He'll take a strike.
As if their next two games are against Garnet Valley and Haverford. So if they lose this one, having to win one of those games, they absolutely can, but it's a lot to ask to have to win one of those games.
The 0-1 pitch is upstairs. It's 1-1. And we'll talk about both of these teams throughout today's broadcast with so much on the line. But Ridley is such an interesting story. A team that at one point to begin the season was 2 for 8 in the first 10 games. The 1-1 is outside. Good breaking ball there, but was not able to get Spiegler fishing. So it's 2-1. Mansfield falls behind in the count. But yeah, a team that was 1-5 in the first 6 games, 2-8 in the first 10, and now have rattled off 7 wins in the last 8 games for the Raiders to put themselves back into playoff positioning. There's a strike at the knees to Spiegler. It's 2-2 to the Lower Merion Aces 6-hole hitter. Mansfield comes set. The righty's 2-2 is lined up the middle, but caught by the second baseman, Wong. Nice play, shading right behind the pitcher's mound, and Mansfield. 2 quick outs here in the top of the second.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of 2 years ago, which was our first year doing the games of the week. Ridley, they started the season 4-8. They won their last 4 essentially games to sneak into the playoffs. So they kind of have that experience, and they talk about their tribe mentality, right? They're never out of anything. They're always battling, and I feel like this year they kind of channeled that again.
Justin Heck will try to help himself out. He swings at the first pitch and belts it in the air deep to left field, and it is down rolling towards the corner. Kamita is over towards the fence, so watch it skip over the fence for a ground rule 2-out double for Justin Heck, and the Aces are in business here in the second.
I've been playing at this field for a long time, and I've never seen a ground rule double here, and we just had 2 in the span of 1.5 innings.
Well, that's impressive, and Heck really gave this ball a ride. First pitch swinging against Mansfield, and a 2-out base runner for the Lower Merion Aces, trailing 1-0 here in the top of the second at Ridley High School. We'll get a courtesy runner coming out of the Aces dugout.
I'm curious how long Mansfield will go, because Ridley has kind of been known to throw the whole kitchen sink at you sometimes, especially in a week like this where they only have 2 conference games. Last week they had 3. They kind of had to spread it out a little bit, so we'll see how long Mansfield goes.
2 outs. Mansfield looking to get the third. His first pitch to James Given is in there for a called strike. Given the designated hitter for the Aces.
Ethan Hoffman is
courtesy runner over there at second base. Mainly a courtesy runner for Coach Quinn. No balls and a strike, the count to Given, and this pitch is popped in the air. Out to shallow left center field. Bub is over to his right. And he's got the catch for the third and final out. Weird backdrop here at Ridley High School, just with the 2 fences, but nice play by Bub in center field. We'll head to the bottom of the second inning, 1-0 lead for the home Raiders. They'll have the at-bat when we come back.
Quick congratulations here to Kevin McGonigal for being named the American League Rookie of the Month for the Detroit Tigers. The Bonner alum hit .328 in his first Major League month. How about that?
What a season he is having for the Tigers. We got some bad news today. The Tarek Skubal is going on the injured list. First pitch is outside of the bottom of the second to Evan Nangle, the designated hitter for the Raiders, who lead this game 1-0 in our game of the week against Lower Merion. The 1-0 pitch out a little bit, I should say, low. It's 2-0 to Nangle.
Nangle, just a freshman. He doesn't look it if you see him in the box.
No, he doesn't. Big kid. Holds his hands high above the helmet. The 2-0 is lined into center field for a base hit past Roman, and it's a leadoff single for the Raiders here in the bottom half of the second as Nangle is aboard.
Yeah, he's going to be a big force. I mean, he's already a force in this Ridley lineup, but he's going to be a big part of this team for the next 3 years.
And Ridley's had some really good at-bats against Justin Heck today so far in this matchup. Still early, just here, of course, in the bottom of the second inning. Justin Heck, a 3.79 earned run average, a whip of just above 1.6 this season. Here's Tim Calamita, the left fielder for Ridley. Quick throw back from the southpaw to the first baseman, drag it. Nangle is not in any hurry to get off of his base. Good crowd out there in the outfield, too, Brendan, when I parked in straightaway center field. A lot of people with lawn chairs. I don't know quite Conestoga Lawn Chair Nation, but good crowd on hand. First pitch from Heck here is a big swing and a miss from Calamita. It's 0-1.
Yeah, and this is our first time, not my first time covering a game here, but this is our first time broadcasting and our first game of the week here. And, the Ridley area, they love their baseball, and that starts at the Little League level.
The 0-1 is chopped on the ground. Diving as a shortstop. Spiegler's throw to second goes past the diving Roman and into right field. Nangle will stop at second base, so a good start for the Raiders once again in the bottom of the second as Nangle moves up the second. Calamita is aboard. That was a tough play for Spiegler to his right. Probably had Nangle, doesn't run all that well, but his throw was just past Roman into right field.
Yeah, I don't think Nangle really saw that throw get away. He might have been able to get third, but at least, you never want to make that first out of the inning at third.
So as Justin Heck just helped himself out with an extra base hit in the top of the second, the pitcher Jake Mansfield for Ridley will look to do the same. Nobody out, and he shows bunt, bottom of the second. Ridley leading 1-0, pulls it back, takes the first pitch from Heck on the outside corner at the knees. Pitcher's pitch by Heck. It's 0-1. This season, Mansfield is a .297 hitter, 42 plate appearances, 37 at-bats with 11 hits. He also has 3 RBIs this season, 3 doubles. The 0-1 pitch is skied in the air, out to shallow left field. Spiegler is out, so is Scholes. Here comes the center fielder Parson, and this one will drop in between Scholes and Spiegler, and the bases are full of Raiders here in the bottom half of the second inning.
It's a second straight at bat where the ball hasn't been hit entirely too hard. It's just been in the perfect spot where there's really nothing that could be done here. And, Ridley has the chance to break this thing open. For a Lower Merion team that has really struggled to hit, this could be a tough mountain for them to climb.
Talk about a long dart. Pretty much exactly perfectly placed for Mansfield. And we'll get a courtesy runner here as well for the pitcher Mansfield, as it looks like number 22 will come into the game for Ridley. The bases are loaded for the 9-hole hitter Luke Ladislaw, the shortstop. The bases are full of Raiders. You have Nangle at third, Calamita at second, the courtesy runner at first. We'll get you his name in just a moment.
Justin Tian.
Tian is over there at first base. Thank you, Brendan. So Ladislaw with a big chance here, a 185 hitter. The pitch from the lefty, Heck, big swing and a miss. Ladislaw, in terms of more than numbers, a 185 hitter this season. He's played in all 17 games for Ridley. 27 at-bats, 5 hits, does have 8 RBIs. Has found a way to drive in some runs here in the bottom of the order. And the pitch from Heck, big swing and a miss. And he's down on 3 strikes. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. 1 away here in the second. So back to the top of the lineup for the Raiders after the first 3 hitters reached in the bottom of the second. Ridley leading Lower Merion 1-0. Here's Aiden Wong, the second baseman, one of the best hitters, Brendan, in this Raiders lineup. Wong, a .271 hitter, 13 hits this season. Good speed. The righty will face the lefty, Justin Heck. Heck looks back the runners. Comes set. Breaking ball. Appeared to be a curveball just off the corner, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, I talked a little bit about before you got here is that this Raiders team isn't really dominated by 1 or 2 hitters. They're very well balanced. A lot of guys hitting the high 200s, low 300s, which is good because you're not relying on one or two guys.
1-0, chopped on the ground over to third. O'Quinn is coming home. He's got one at first. The return throw by Offberg is in time to drag it. A phenomenal double play turned by the Aces. And Justin Heck is Houdini to get out of the second. We're headed to the top of the third. 1-0 lead, still for Ridley. Back after this here on Delco Baseball Now.
Back with some score updates around the area. Strathaven shockingly leads Springfield 4-0. That'll be a huge win for the Panthers. Garner Valley leads Conestoga 2-0. We got Bonner leading Lansdale Catholic 4-0, which should likely clinch their PCL playoff spot. Interborough leads Chester 8-0. Shipley leads Delco Christian 4-0. Upper Darby and Haverford tied 0-0. That might be the biggest shock of the day. It's only the bottom of the first there, but still, it's a Haverford 13-0, Upper Darby 0-13. We have Carroll is tied with Newman Goretti 0-0. Radnor and Harriton will come out at 4:15. And Dave, we got Pencrest Marple under the lights at Marple tonight.
Always a great place to be. That field is one of the best in Delco. Should be a fun matchup. We'll talk about some more of the playoff situations later on as this broadcast continues. Lower Merion 8-10 overall this season. Ridley 9-8. Both of these teams need this game to keep their playoff hopes alive. It's a 1-0 lead for Ridley, but how about that double play by O'Quinn? Aiden O'Quinn at third base to home to Offberg for one, back to drag it to first for a double play. One out, bases loaded. Really, there was nobody out, bases loaded. Heck gets the strikeout, and then the double play. Ridley leads at 1-0. Big momentum swing for the Aces. First pitch swinging here is Scholes, and he swings right on top of that one. It's 0-1. Scholes is the 9-hole hitter. It'll be Scholes, O'Quinn, and Parsons, the three due up for Lower Merion. Looking to get the equalizer here in the top of the third. Hit off the end of the bat. Quickly 0-2 to Ryan Scholes. Ridley this season, in terms of runs scored and runs allowed per game, the Raiders have allowed 4.6 runs per game. They've scored more than 5 runs per game. Offense has been really good. The pitching sometimes is a concern for the Raiders. The 0-2 pitch here from Mansfield is upstairs. It's 1-2.
Yeah, I think for Ridley, the way they kind of view it is they might not necessarily have a true number one, but they have a lot of number 2 and 3s that they trust, and they kind of try and patch that together.
The 1-2 pitch to Scholes. Breaking ball, fouled off the mitt of the catcher. Couldn't quite hold on to that one. So it stays 1 ball and 2 strikes. Davis, who's doing the catching for Mansfield. The 1-2 pitch to Ryan Scholes with the bases empty, nobody out. Inside, and it gets a piece of Scholes. So a 1 ball, 2 strike mistake pitch there by Mansfield allows the hit by pitch.
Yeah, Mansfield loves throwing those sliders inside to righties, and sometimes if the slider doesn't slide, you're putting yourself in a position to get that hit by pitch, especially for the hitter's sake, not coming in with too hard of a velocity that you're not exactly dying to get out of the way. I don't think that Ridley coach Tom Carey was thrilled that he didn't make too much of an effort to get out of the way. But
with all due respect to Ryan Scholes, he's just a 182 hitter this season.
Right,
close pickoff there as Scholes is in there safely. But he struggled this year at the plate, and that's just something where if you're Ridley, playoff hopes on the line, you can't let happen. Another pickoff attempt.
He didn't even get
and this
off
time
base.
Scholes
Yeah.
didn't even move. The season for Lower Merion started out with back-to-back wins at Shipley and also at Upper Merion area. Throwback to first this time again close, but the umpire just to the left of the second base bag. Rules Scholes safe. So Aiden O'Quinn back in the top of the lineup. Another throw, and again Scholes is in there safely.
Is there a disengagement rule at the high school level?
There is not. Might need one. Big lead again from Scholes. Waiting on the first pitch here. And again, Mansfield checks on him, and he's in there safely. I should say a large cat and mouse game happening over there at first base between Scholes and the pitcher, Jake Mansfield.
Now, which one's which? Who's the cat, who's the mouse?
The mouse is probably Scholes. Scholes' big lead, and this one's rocketed in the air out to right center field. Carney is back, so is Bub. They look up, and it's off the fence. Scholes wants it at third. He'll get in there standing. The ball gets away from the second baseman. That will allow Scholes to come home and score, and this game is tied. Aiden O'Quinn with a hard-hit double to right center field. Great base running by Scholes to read that the whole way. Saw the bobble in shallow right center. Took advantage of it. Moved up an extra 90 feet. And O'Quinn comes through with a big hit.
I mean, that ball was a rocket off the bat. This is a deep field here. That's gone in
Really
a lot.
is.
That's gone in a lot of different high schools. I've only ever seen one home run hit on this field. It was a Delco League game. So just we got a time out here. I think another ball came on the field, perhaps.
That'll bring up Charlie Parsons, a .314 hitter, .467 on base percentage, and .952 OPS. Is that good, Brendan?
Sounds pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Charlie Parsons and Nick Draggett have really been the pop in this order so far this year.
So Mansfield hits the first batter he faces and then gives up a long double to right center field. Tied at 1, still no one out in the top of the third, and this pitch is fouled off the top of the cage to Parsons, so it's 0-1.
Our setup is all good after that foul ball.
Always worrisome with those foul balls behind the plate. Glad you could join us here on our Delco Baseball Now Game of the Week. David Chapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you from Ridley High School. First game of the week here at Ridley. 1-1 ball game. The Aces threaten for more. O'Quinn takes his lead off a second. Charlie Parsons waiting at the plate, and the 0-1 pitch from Mansfield is outside. It's 1-1.
Start to hear the Lower Merion dugout with a little bit more life.
Righty-righty matchup. Mansfield comes set. And the 1-1 pitch to Parsons. Line down the left field line. It's a base hit. It will roll all the way to the corner. O'Quinn rounds third easily. And it's a RBI single for Charlie Parsons. And Lower Merion has a 2-1 lead. Just a great piece of hitting by Parsons. He was early on that pitch from Mansfield. Didn't miss it. A fair ball. And Calamita got to that ball quickly to hold him at first. But Lower Merion has the lead. Still no one out, Brendan.
So nobody out and still at the heart of the order here.
Here's Draggett, the tall left-handed hitter. Stands in, facing the righty Mansfield. Throw back to first. Parsons is in there safely. So all three runners to begin the top half of the third have reached for Lower Merion. Again, the hit by pitch to Scholes, the double for O'Quinn, and Parsons' RBI single to give Lower Merion a 2-1 lead. First pitch to Draggett is outside. It's 1-0. And you have to think it's just so hard to pitch to a guy like Draggett, who just has that imposing stance in the batter's box. A very tall lefty, kind of loads his hands just on his shoulder. Bat is not all that far away from his shoulder.
Still just a junior.
The 1-0 pitch from Mansfield. Fastball ripped foul.
I think Draggett would like that one back.
Hit off, I believe, the football bleachers. And it's 1-1. Good swing there by Draggett. This season, Draggett, a .425 hitter that leads all qualified hitters for Lower Merion. Talked about Parsons' .952 OPS. Well, Draggett, 1.125 OPS this season. 6 walks to 11 strikeouts, .625 slug. For a Lower Merion team that doesn't score a ton of runs, Draggett is a big part of the offense. The 1-1 pitch, fastball, skied in the air out to left center field. Bub is heading back towards the fence, and he'll make the catch for the first out here of the third. Parsons will have to retreat. Good swing by Draggett, but right to Bub's glove in left center field.
Yeah, and Dave, if you weren't aware, Logan Bub heading to Ursinus to be a kick returner. So tracking those kind of balls that are over his head a little bit and trailing is something that he's going to be doing a lot of in college.
In front of the spectators there, the home spectators for the Raiders, but good route running there by...
Also receiver.
Good route running by Bub. So one away, here's the cleanup hitter, Brendan O'Gara. With 1 out, a runner on first, 2 runs in this inning for Lower Merion. Called strike to O'Gara. Questionable call there on the outside part of the plate. O'Gara hitting .258 this season, but an on-base percentage of higher than .450 out of the cleanup hitter.
He'll be heading to the college in New Jersey to play his college baseball next year, and I think a lot of reason for that is his high on base percentages. I think people know that once you kind of get down the lower Merion lineup a little bit, it starts to kind of trail off. So they're really just trying, ideally, not to get beat by that middle of the order.
And he's a big bridge, if you will, between Dragitt and Parsons and the rest of the order. He swings through a high and inside fastball here. So it's quickly 0-2 to Brendan O'Gara. With Charlie Parsons at first, had the RBI single a few moments ago. It's a 2-1 lead for Lower Merion on the road. Playoff destiny on the line in this one. One out. Mansfield gets his signs from the catcher Davis. Looks back the runner Parsons. Kicks home. Parsons goes, pitches outside and bobbled by Davis. So Parsons will swipe second base.
I think it's fair to say that if Lower Merion loses, they are likely not heading to the playoffs. If Ridley loses, they're still in a solid spot. They'll be 7-7. The problem is they would likely have to beat one of Haverford and Garnet Valley to get in.
And Ridley right now is kind of on the edge of the home and the away playoff game. Right?
Yep.
Lower Merion pretty much securely in that away playoff spot if they were to make it. Mansfield, 1 ball, 2 strikes, runner in scoring position, 1 out. Parsons at second takes his lead. The pitch is a slider outside to O'Gara. Count even at 2.
Lower Merion currently the first team out of the dance right now. 25th out of 24 teams that make it.
A win would for sure help Lower Merion's case. They lead it by 1 here in the top half of the third inning. Mansfield trying to stop the damage here at 2. He comes set. Looks back Parsons at second. The 2-2 pitch to the cleanup hitter for the Aces. Skied way foul first base side. Near the houses behind us here at Ridley High School. O'Gara was well late on that pitch from Mansfield.
Hope they know a good window repair guy in the Ridley area because these houses are pretty close to the backstop.
Now,
here.
luckily, it would be very difficult, probably impossible to hit a line drive toward the houses. But still, those fly balls towards the roofs, not all that far to our right behind us here at Ridley High School. 2-2 pitch again from Mansfield. Slider that rolls outside from O'Gara, and the count is full. So Brendan O'Gara comes all the way back from behind in the count 0-2 to bring it to a full count. Lower Merion Aces dugout making some noise. 2-1 lead for the Aces. 1 away here in the top of the third. Mansfield with a runner at second. Comes set for Ridley, and the 3-2 pitch to O'Gara. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Nice comeback from Mansfield, who stays battling for the Raiders, and there are 2 away here in the third.
Fortunately, from our vantage point, we don't really have a look at a bullpen for either team here, so we're going to pretty much just be going off of just what we're able to see in terms of pitch counts, and I think it's more likely that Mansfield comes out before Heck solely because of just how the pitching has been for these teams all year. Ridley, it doesn't really let their guys go too deep into games. They kind of just want to give you a different look, and I would guess whether that be Jared Pugh or Ariel Kokaj, like somebody else would be coming in.
Big opportunity here for Leo Offberg, who swings and misses at the first pitch. It's 0-1. Offberg with an important insurance run. It's early. But in these playoff situations like this one, every run matters, trying to get that runner in. Parsons at second base. He takes his lead. No balls and a strike. 2 outs. 2-1 lead for Lower Merion, top of the third. The pitch to from Mansfield is popped up. Again, Offberg swinging at a pretty high fastball there, and it's 0-2.
May not be a playoff game, but it feels like it.
It sure does. Playoff weather, too, as we mentioned earlier on this May 4th. Offberg grounded to shortstop in his first at-bat. He's hitting .273 this season, a .333 on base percentage. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Offberg has to battle. Little twitch in his stance at the plate. 2-1 lead for Lower Merion. Mansfield looking to end the inning here. Looks back Parsons at second. Big lead. Comes on. Parsons goes. Pitches high. Throw down to third is not in time. A decent throw from the catcher Davis. Polag was a little late to apply the tag. And there's a runner just 90 feet away now for the Aces.
It's definitely an aggressive move. I'm very slow, so I really didn't steal bases much. But to do that, it sets you up now if there's an error or an infield single to get that run in.
The 1-2 pitch from Mansfield. Fastball called. Strike 3. Froze Offberg for the third and final out of the third. Back-to-back strikeouts helps Mansfield get out of trouble. It's a 2-1 lead for Lower Merion headed to the bottom of the third here at Ridley High School. Welcome back to Delco Baseball Now's Game of the Week. 2-1 lead for Lower Merion against Ridley as we head to the bottom of the third. Bottom of the order due up for Ridley. Actually, I should say top of the order due up for Ridley. Nick Polag, Jaden Davis, and Jaden Carney. 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Raiders to face Justin Heck. David Chapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. A big opportunity for a shutdown inning for Heck after his offense just gave him the 2-1 advantage.
Yeah, and he certainly helped with that offense as well with that double. So I think Lower Merion seems to have the momentum, but the Ridley dugout's still loud.
First pitch to Polag is in there for a called strike, the third baseman for the Raiders. Big swing and a miss there from Polag, so it's 0-2. Polag, a senior for Ridley, hitting .312 this season, 32 at-bats, 10 hits, 3 RBIs, 4 doubles. Fouls this pitch off here. Good swing against the fastball from Heck. It stays 0-2 to Polag. Again, a lot on the line in this game in terms of playoff scenarios. Both of these teams really would love to have this game. Lower Merion definitely much more desperate than Ridley is at this point in the season. 2 games under 500. The 0-2 pitch from Heck is hit off of Heck at the mound. Stays composed, fires to first for the first out here in the bottom of the third. But it definitely got a piece, I believe, of the left hand of Justin Heck. And Coach Quinn comes immediately out of the dugout. Leo Uffberg is also over to chat with Heck, but he appears to be okay with 1 out here in the third. Dangerous play there up the middle. It was hard exactly to see where Heck got hit with this pitch. Again, he was kind of...
Is he coming out of the game?
Shaking off his right hand.
Or is he getting some water here? He's walking to the dugout at least.
Yeah, he's going to get a water here from one of the assistants, it appears, on the bench for Lower Merion. And it looked like he was shaking out his left hand, which is his throwing hand. But I'm not sure if it maybe clipped him potentially off the wrist, and he is now heading further into the dugout. So that is going to be it for Justin Heck, who takes a comebacker off, I believe, of his either left hand, left forearm. Regardless, off of him, he stays composed, fires a strike to drag it at first, but that'll be the end of the day for Justin Heck. So it looks like he might actually hit Heck in the face, Brendan. As
our sideline reporter, Shelby Kaufman, letting us know that it appeared that he chipped his tooth, and he took it out of his mouth.
So we'll see if Heck is going to stay in this game. He's now coming
like
back
towards
the mound, and he is. So if there's any dentist on the scene, it might be good to head over to the pitcher Heck in between innings, but glad to see that he's okay. And looks like he's going to stay in this game. Just what really courage for Heck to stay in this game. You got to imagine dealing with some pain right now.
And I'll tell you what, that'll be a fun post-game interview.
And the umpire, I believe, said he's just going to let him throw 1, it appears. I think Heck should probably throw a few more, and I think that's what Coach Quinn's arguing about.
I'll say this, from a purely baseball perspective, I guess it's probably better his tooth than his hand.
Most definitely,
right?
But it was strange because the way that he was holding his hand, and that's why it was the tooth
that
was
in
his hand, and maybe blood, you would imagine, as well. That's why he was holding his left hand. So 1 away. Here's Jaden Davis, and the lefty comes back throwing a strike after that. Perfect strike on the inside part of the plate. It's 0-1 to the Ridley catcher.
He only needed 1 warm-up pitch.
I guess so. Trying to stay fresh. 0-1. Big swing and a miss. It's now 0-2 to Davis. Davis, again, the catcher. He's a junior. .319 hitter this season. 58 plate appearances, 15 hits, 8 doubles. Big power bat. Fouls this pitch off, and it stays 0-2. Now, Brendan, you talked about how big this field is, and Ridley has their fair share of doubles with how much really just space there is in left center and right center. But a team that's only hit 5 home runs, or I should say 1 home run this season. And the next pitch is popped up, shallow right field. O'Gara is in to his right, calls for it, and makes the catch for the second out of the bottom of the third. But really a team that does a lot of its damage from the gaps more so than hitting the ball over the fence.
Yeah, and for this team, they know how to play to their strengths, right? Maybe some of the swings you'll see for the Haverford school, it's because that fence is 260, right? You're allowed to kind of have a little bit more of that uppercut. For here, that unless you really get into one, you're not putting one out here, so do what you know best.
First pitch here from Heck to the 4-hole hitter Carney is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. So ever since the chipped tooth, it's been 4 consecutive strikes for Justin Heck. The Aces lead at 2-1. Heck looks for the shutdown inning. The 0-1 pitch comes right back with the fastball, and it's 0-2, making 5 straight strikes since the chipped tooth for Justin Heck.
He's got that two-seamer working to the right. He's really well.
He really does. Coming back on the inside part of the plate. Can he strike him out? The 0-2 is outside. It's 1-2 to Carney. Carney this season having a nice year, hitting .324 for Ridley. The 1-2 pitch inside almost hit Carney, who somehow was able to get out of the way of that one, and it's 2-2. 12 hits, 7 RBIs, 3 doubles for Carney, who's a junior. A lot of upperclassmen in the lineup for Ridley. Lower Merion has some youth on their team. Ridley mainly a team that rides with the seniors. The 1-2 breaking ball comes back across the plate. Called strike 3. So how about that performance from Justin Heck in the third as he goes 1-2-3 despite the chipped tooth. He's walking back with some swag to the dugout. We're headed to the fourth. 2-1 lead for Lower Merion.
Back for some score areas around Delaware County. Strathaven leads Springfield 5-2. Garnet Valley leads Conestoga 2-0. Haverford has opened up a 7-0 lead on Upper Darby. Assuming they close that one out, they will be the outright Central League champion. Back-to-back Central League championships. Of course, they split with Radnor last year, so this one will be all them. Shipley leads Delco Christian 6-0. Interboro leads Chester 12-0. Bonner leads Lansdale Catholic 5-0. Harriton and Radnor are scoreless, as is Carroll and Newman Goretti. Cardinal O'Hara taking the trip to Sterling, New Jersey. Not sure what the connection there is, but they are taking on Sterling. That game is also scoreless. And as mentioned, Pencrest at Marple Newtown will start tonight at 6:30. With the weather nicer, I assume a lot of Marple's games will be under the lights. And Dave, including the Barrett game coming up in a couple weeks.
Always a great time, especially as we hit early May. Thanks, Brendan, for those score updates. Mansfield goes back to work here on the top of the fourth against Lower Merion. He'll face Spiegler, Heck, and Given. 6, 7, and 8 due up for Lower Merion. Mansfield this season, I didn't get a chance to talk about, of course, in the open. I know, Brendan, you did. A 1.12 earn run average this season for Mansfield. And the first pitch here is lined down the left field line. It's a fair ball, and it will roll in the corner past Calamita. Spiegler zooming to second, and he'll pull in there with a stand-up double to lead off the fourth for the Aces.
I would have guessed off the bat that one was going to go foul, but it hugged the line here. And it's funny, that's like the one area on the field that we can't really see well, and we've had how many doubles down the line already?
I believe that's our third since I got here. And speaking about Mansfield, just wanted to mention, I mean, he's been excellent this year, right? An ERA of just above 1, 37 2/3 of an inning coming into this game. He allowed only 6 earned runs coming into today's game. He's allowed 2 today, so 25% of his earned runs the entire season have been scored in this game by the Aces. Here's Justin Heck, who looks to add on.
Yeah, this will be a lot of fun, especially after the chip tooth here to further a player of the game performance, perhaps.
Breaking ball is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. If you're just joining us, Heck in the last inning put up a shutdown inning after Lower Merion scored 2 in the top half of the third. He chipped his tooth, though, midway through the bottom half of the third. Still came back to get 2 quick outs, including a strikeout. And the pitch here is in there for a strike. It's 0-2 to Heck,
I think also,
who doubled in his first at-bat.
Also worth noting that he did make the out at first after chipping the tooth. He picked
did.
it up and fired to first. Reminds me of when Vince Velasquez hurt his arm and he threw it with his left hand.
No balls and 2 strikes the count. Mansfield checks back on Spiegler, who's in there standing up at second base.
Dave, are you aware of the resurgence of hacky sack around the area?
I was told by Villanova's Dylan Johnson that that's
Ah.
happening on Villanova's campus. The 0-2 is fouled back off the right foot of Heck, but that's what I'm hearing. Do you have any added information on that?
The schools they're all making their own accounts, like
that's
as if
awesome.
it's a team. They're keeping track of their their stats and their.
I've never played.
I haven't. My brother played soccer all throughout college, so I mean I have a little bit of it, but not in the way the organized SAC is. Like they all have their own team accounts right now. A lot of baseball players doing it too.
That's interesting. We'll have to follow that update here in Delco. Maybe we'll be calling Delco games coming up in a few years. The 1-2 pitch to Heck just off the plate, or the 0-2 pitch just off the plate. It's 1-2 to the pitcher, Heck. Runner at second, nobody out here in the top half of the fourth inning. Back-to-back innings with the leadoff runner on, allowed by Mansfield. Mansfield comes set. The righty from the stretch of the belt. Kicks home. 1-2. Smacked on the ground over to short. Tough hop. Pulled up by Ladislav. His throw to third. Polag is in time. Nicely done by the shortstop Ladislav, who was able to get a hustling Spiegler for the fielder's choice.
Looks like Spiegler's a little shaken up there. And, from the fundamental baseball perspective, usually at second base, you're kind of taught if that ball is hit on the ground to your right to hold off. But he kind of just took off right away. And looks like he's a little shaken up here coming back, but I think he'd like that one back. You typically kind of taught to hold there at second, wait for, if you're going to go, kind of wait for that throw to first base there. But heads up by Ridley, you still got to execute the play, and the whole dugout was yelling 3.
And every base runner just means so much with so much on the line, right? Both of these teams we talked about are fighting for their playoff lives. Lower Merion really more so than Ridley, as I mentioned earlier. So nice play there by Ladislav for the first out. So Heck is over there at first, and immediately Mansfield will check on Heck, who is back in there standing. And actually, that is the courtesy runner once again. I believe that is Hoffman for Lower Merion. It is. So Ethan Hoffman is over there at first base. 1 out for James Given, who flied out to center in his first at-bat. Check swings this pitch, roller towards first base. Soper's got it. Underhand flips it to Mansfield for the second out. Basically a swinging bunt there for James Given. And here's Ryan Scholes with a 2-out RBI opportunity.
Yeah, and the former first baseman, that's not an easy play for the communication's sake. That's kind of one of those in-betweeners where there can be plenty of times where both guys kind of go after it and neither one goes to the base, or vice versa, where they both kind of think their job is to cover the base. But that's, that play was made in February, right, when you're doing all those drills to kind of work on that communication.
How about some PFPs there for Mansfield, able to cover the bag in time. Good play by Soper. First pitch to Scholes is in there for a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Scholes fell behind in the count, 1-2 in his first at-bat, and ended up being hit by a pitch from Mansfield. And he started the rally in the third, which led to the 2 runs, both runs being scored today for Lower Merion. He's the 4th batter to bat here in the 4th. Mansfield's 0-1 is outside 1-1. As you see Heck, or I should say Hoffman, the courtesy runner, drawing a lot of attention from the second baseman Wong. No balls and 1 strike to count to Scholes. Mansfield trying to get out of trouble here in the 4th. The pitch, swing, and a foul tip into the mitt of Davis. 2-1 lead for Lower Merion here in the top half of the 4th inning here on Delco Baseball Now's Game of the Week. A beautiful Monday afternoon, so baseball to begin the work week. And the 0-2 pitch from Mansfield is low. Another slider there. I believe it actually might be 2-2.
I got 2-2.
Yeah, it is 2-2 the count. Thanks, Brendan.
Quick mound visit.
Mound visit here as Davis will chat, as Brendan said, with Mansfield. First time for me, though, at Ridley High School, and it's a large facility here. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, I parked in center field, straightaway center field, and that's the setup here in right field and really right center. It's a nice area where spectators can either stand at the fence or grab a chair, and you can see the field, even though it's pretty far out there.
Yeah.
You can see the field pretty well. That's, of course, where you have the street in the background, and then in center field, the parking lot. Left field, you have the school facilities and a scoreboard, which is not operating for this game. A large fence out there in left field beyond the original barrier.
I've been here to cover football, actually, way more than baseball.
The 2-2 pitch from Mansfield. Swing and a miss. Mansfield strikes out Scholes to end the top half of the 4th inning. 4 batters are sent to the plate by Lower Merion. No runs on 1 hit, 1 man left. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th. Ridley is looking for the equalizer here on Delco Baseball Now. Bottom half of the fourth inning here on Delco Baseball Now's Game of the Week. David Chepansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. It's a 2-1 lead for Lower Merion. Ridley is looking to respond against Justin Heck, who is at least short a tooth than he was in the beginning of this game. But what an outing, what an effort, especially in that last inning by Heck.
Don't know what percentage of the tooth, but it's not 100.
Brendan Soper will be the first man to face Heck.
I believe this is a pinch hitter here. Yes, this is a pinch hitter.
1 ball, no strikes to count.
Connor Callahan.
2-0. Thank you, Brendan. Good eyes there.
I just knew the Soper was number 3, I believe. So, or I knew he was not 99. Yes, this is Connor Callahan.
I believe it's 3 balls and no strikes to count. The lefty Heck comes set, and the pitch in there for a strike. It's 3-1. Good comeback pitch from Heck. Connor Callahan looking to start the rally in the 4th. 3-1, swing and a miss. It's 3-2. Good pitch there from Heck, who seemingly has found a rhythm here in the bottom of the 4th. Callahan this season, a .303 hitter, fouls this pitch to the right side of the cage, and it stays 3-2. You would imagine that Callahan would come in and play first base for Soper.
So you can do 1 re-entry. So Soper could go back
theoretically
in
re-enter
if they would like him to. Honestly, could depend on how this at bat goes.
3 balls, 2 strikes to count. The southpaw kicks home, 3-2. Fouled back again. Good battle here by Callahan.
Yeah, your goal always off the bench. Like, if you can get a hit, obviously that's the most ideal, but work a good at bat, right? Nobody wants to have their pinch hitter come in and just ground out to second base on the first play.
And once again, there was a lot of room down the left field line if we're able to get early on one of these fastballs from Heck, as the left fielder Scholes well off the line. Foul back again from Callahan. It stays 3-2. Good battle brewing between the pinch hitter Callahan and the pitcher Justin Heck. Evan Nangle is on deck for Ridley, the designated hitter. The Raiders led this game 1-0. They scored first. Lower Merion answered with 2 runs in the 3rd. The 3-2 popped up near the first base dugout over the Aces side of things and will land in between the trees. So 4 consecutive foul balls from Callahan, the pinch hitter. And even if this doesn't end in a base runner for Ridley, you have to love the effort to work the pitch count of Heck.
Correct. He's done his job regardless of what happens on this pitch.
The payoff pitch, outside ball 4. Just a beautiful at-bat to begin the bottom of the 4th by Callahan. He'll trot down to first base.
And that's not easy because that up and away fastball to the righties has been killer all day for Heck, and he has a great job laying off, especially when he hadn't seen him yet today. Looks like he's going to at least stay in the game to run here. Could potentially be taken out again for Soper to go back in at first, but still TBD on that.
Opportunity for Evan Nangle, who singled in his first at-bat against Heck. Nobody out, bottom of the 4th. First pitch swinging up the middle, and it eats up the shortstop Spegler. Rolls into center field. Callahan wants 3. The throw not in time, and that will allow Nangle to take an extra base. The Raiders with runners on 2nd and 3rd and nobody out in the bottom of the 4th.
It's a really great job by Nangle there to read that throw. You know, it wasn't the easiest play for him to make, to be able to see that throw go into 3rd and you know, because you kind of have to take that aggressive turn. You can't just stop at first and then once you see that throw start again. He was thinking 2 all the way, and the second he let it go, he was all over it.
Hard hit baseball, maybe even clipped the second base bag, but regardless, tough hop on Spiegler, got away from him, and now runners on 2nd and 3rd. Callahan at 3rd, Nangle at 2nd. Here's Tim Calmeda. Calmeda, the left fielder for Ridley. He reached on an error to shortstop in his first at bat. He lines this pitch into right center field, falling away from Parsons. He'll track it down in right center field. Good play by the Lower Merion center fielder. Callahan will tag up and score. Sacrifice fly for Calmeda, and we're tied at 2.
That was really an unbelievable play out there in center field. That saved a 2nd run scoring, and also more importantly for Nangle, you're kind of thinking that ball's going to drop, and he wasn't able to get back to 2nd to advance to 3rd.
He should be on 3rd base right now.
Yeah, but from his perspective, you're trying to think, if that ball drops, I need to score. So I understand from his perspective what he was thinking there. It's kind of a tough one. Looks like they said they're killing the DH. Nangle is being run for here by Logan Bubb. So Logan Bubb is the current center fielder, so that means he's now in the game in center He's staying in center field, I guess, now in
so
the lineup.
he will bat for Nangle, who is basically hitting for him anyway. So that's kind of an even 1-1 switch. So good speed with the center fielder, who, as Brendan talked about earlier, is going to college for a route runner, kick returner.
Yep, also receiver, but mostly he said he'll mostly start at receiver. I'm a little surprised that they got Nangle out of the order. I understand that
He's a big bat.
Well, I understand that you really want this run to score and you want the speed, but I feel like that could be maybe a little later in the game. You're making that move because I don't believe Nangle can re-enter again.
Mansfield looks to help himself out. The 1-0 chopped on the ground. Spiegler with another opportunity, and it again gets away from him. The third error of the game for Spiegler, and there are runners on the corners with 2 outs. With 1 out.
I believe this is Justin Tien coming in to run here for Jake Mansfield again.
Just a tough day at shortstop. 3 errors for Spiegler, 2 in this inning, and that will bring up Luke Ladislaw for Ridley.
I think the first error took a kind of a wicked hop. I think he's going to want this one back.
Ladislaw this season, a 185 hitter.
Another pinch hitter. This is Jared Pugh.
Pugh, the senior, a 500 batting average and 14 at-bats this season. Heck kicks home, breaking ball in there for a strike. It's 0-1, so a big spot here, and Ridley is being ultra-aggressive, still early.
I think there's a possibility here that Pugh could be next to pitch because he's their number 2 pitcher on the year.
The 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss there to Pugh. It's 0-2. This season, Pugh, the senior, 500 batting average, 14 at-bats, 7 hits, 2 RBIs, 2 doubles. As Brendan said, he could be the next pitcher in the game for the Raiders. Heck, with 1 out, runners on the corners, 2-2 game. The 0-2 runner goes from first. That's Tien, and it's fouled at the plate. So again, Bub is over there at third base. Tien at first. Bunch of pinch runners in the game. Ladislaw is at the plate. Behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, we're tied at 2. Lower Merion and Ridley. Bottom of the 4th inning. Justin Heck gets the sign from Leo Uffberg. Comes set at the belt. The southpaw fires the 0-2. Foul back towards the right side.
These Ridley hitters are doing a very good job at spoiling some of these tough pitches from Justin Heck, really just trying to get the pitch that they want to hit. They know some of these pitches they're not going to be able to do much damage with, and I think for Pugh's sake here, his job is put the ball in play. Still 1 out, runner on third, infield is playing back, double play depth up the middle.
No balls, 2 strikes the count to Pugh. Heck comes set, looks back the runners. The 0-2 again, breaking ball, spun a good one. He got him. Justin Heck with the strikeout, 2 away here in the 4th. That's just a beautiful pitch to get the pinch hitter Pugh. On the 0-2, goes back to the hook and gets the swing.
And he took a little bit off that one. Pitchers do a good job at, it's the same pitch shape of that curveball, but just he kind of slowed it down to make it a little more loopy, so it didn't look like a normal curveball from him.
Well, Aiden Wong with a chance to give the Raiders the lead. Grounded into a double play back in the 2nd. Whacks this pitch foul. It's 0-1. Brendan, you remember back in the 2nd inning, Ridley had the bases loaded and no 1 out. They were unable to get any runs home. Now with an opportunity, runners on the corners, 2nd and 3rd. As of right now, they only have 1 run in.
Looks like it might have been Jaden Davis who was behind the plate potentially warming up. Looks like
runner goes from first. It's Tien, and they got him. Good pickoff attempt to drag it. And that will end the inning here in the 4th as Tien is caught stealing for the 3rd and final outs. We've played 4 innings here at Ridley High School, tied at 2. Stay tuned, Delaware County, in for a good battle as we're headed to the 5th. Welcome back to Ridley High School. 2-2 game as we're headed to the top half of the fifth inning. David Chepansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. Ridley versus Lower Merion. Such an important game for the playoff hopes for both of these teams. A lot of changes for you. So if you're keeping score at home, stay with us for a second.
If you're keeping score at home, we reach out to us, please. We want to meet you.
The new pitcher for Ridley is the former catcher Jaden Davis in this game. He'll go to the mound. He hasn't pitched a ton. Brendan and I were talking about this in between innings. He's only pitched 4 innings this season. Calamita, who is in left field, he'll go over to right field. Mansfield, who is pitching, stays in the game. He'll play left field. And the new catcher is Carney, who moved from right field to behind the plate. So again, the defensive alignment now for Ridley. Mansfield, Bubb, and Calamita left to right in the outfield. Polag and Ladislaw are still on the left side of the infield. Wong at second. Soper at first. Carney is now doing the catching for Davis. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
It is, and so I was here for what I believe was Jaden Davis' first pitching appearance of the year against Interborough, and what I saw was the same arm that you see behind the plate. I want to see a little bit more of the off-speed pitches because against Interborough, he kind of just relied on the fastball, and they couldn't catch up to it. I feel like, especially with the heart of the Lower Merion order here, he's not going to be able to get away with just the fastballs here, so I'm curious to see what we see from the off-speed side of things.
Well, 4 1/3 of an inning, 8 strikeouts so far. First pitch swinging here, roped just foul from Aiden O'Quinn's bat, and it's 0-1 to the leadoff hitter for the Aces, O'Quinn, who doubled in the third inning. 2-2 game here at Ridley High. Bases empty, no one out. I believe we're waiting to retrieve that foul ball down the right field line. It appears it's off the field now. O'Quinn, a .270 hitter this season, a .391 on base percentage. The next pitch in there for a called strike, 0-2. So Davis quickly works ahead.
When I watch Davis, the arm talent is very obvious. I just want to see, if he is more of a pitcher or more of a thrower here.
Davis through the windup, the 0-2 outside. Fastball again. It's 1-2 now to Aiden O'Quinn.
Again, definitely was not expecting him to be the first guy out of the bullpen here, but clearly there's something that they've seen in him on the mound that they trust him in a spot like this.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count. And the pitch from Davis. Fastball again, chopped on the ground over to first. Tough hop, but Soper's got it. He'll tag the bag for the first out. Here are the fifth. Good play there by the first baseman, Soper, and there's one away now for Charlie Parsons. Parsons singled in his last at-bat in the third as we really begin to get late in this ballgame. Still just the top of the fifth, but a 2-2 game. Both of these teams so competitive this season, holding right around 500 records. Pitch here from Davis to Parsons. Fastball, dead red for a strike. So, as you mentioned earlier, Brendan, seeing a lot of heat from Davis, and we'll see if these Lower Merion hitters can catch up to it. No balls and a strike. The pitch to Parsons. Chopped foul. A little bit early there was Parsons. It's 0-2. Parsons again, a .314 hitter this season, a .952 OPS. Facing the new pitcher for Ridley, who just entered in this inning, Jaden Davis. He gets the signs from Carney. And the 0-2 pitch to Parsons. Swing and a miss. He got him. 9th strikeout of the season for Jaden Davis. 2 outs, 2 quick outs here in the fifth. Well, Ridley, a team that has struggled on the mound at times this year, would love some added pitching from Jaden Davis in the playoff run.
There's some power-on-power matchup here.
So here's Nicholas Draggett, who lined out to center field in his first at-bat. Swings and fouls the first pitch off behind the plate. I believe it got a piece of the catcher, Carney, maybe even a piece of the home plate umpire, and it's 0-1. I think the setup survived that, Brendan.
It did. Definitely, also for Jaden, definitely a tough adjustment going from right field to catcher. You're thrown right into the mix of things now.
And you're so far out there in right field. It's a much closer look, obviously. The 0-1 fouled back again. Great swing there by Draggett as he tries to time up the fastball from Davis. Don't have the exact number on it, but I would say maybe only one of these pitches that Davis has thrown has not been a fastball. They might have all been a fastball.
They might have all been.
No balls and 2 strikes the count. Davis through the windup. The 0-2 to Draggett. Skips in front of the catcher, Carney. And it's 1-2. Brendan O'Gara is on deck for Lower Merion. If this inning was to extend. Bases empty for the Aces. Top half of the 5th inning. 2-2 game. Ridley and Lower Merion here in our Delco Baseball Now game of the week. First 2 hitters quickly retired by Davis. Can he make it 3 in a row? The 1-2 to Draggett. Breaking ball, and this pitch is fouled off towards the Lower Merion dugout as Draggett was way ahead on that off-speed pitch.
And that slider had some good movement there. That was a really good pitch, and I think maybe not necessarily the location he wanted, but it caught a little too much of the plate for 0-2, but the movement was certainly good.
Davis, just a junior. He wants a new baseball. He'll get one. Brendan, for myself, who has been struggling with allergies for the last week or so, it's great to sit in front of these trees behind the plate.
I couldn't put my contacts in until 1 o'clock today.
The 1-2 pitch. Fastball way outside. It's 2-2. Good battle here by Draggett. But have to love this springtime baseball here in early May. The 2-2 pitch from Jaden Davis. Breaking ball smashed in the air out to right center field. Bub is back at the fence. He looks up, and it's out of here. Nicholas Draggett for the lead. A 2-out rocket to right center here in the top of the 5th. The lefty goes yard, greets Davis with a homer, and the Aces keeping their playoff hopes alive.
As I've mentioned, I have never seen a home run hit here at the high school level. I've seen some at the Delco League level. That was a bomb. There's really no other way to say it.
Crushed by Draggett. And now we'll see how Davis responds with 2 outs. Bases still empty for Brendan O'Gara, and this is where the junior really has to settle in, not let the inning get away from him. And we've seen him, I think, just overthrow a few pitches. As you said, Brendan, just that difference between someone who's pitching and throwing. And I think Davis still learning that a little bit. This pitch is lined in the air out to left field. Mansfield is back, and he'll make the catch towards the fence for the 3rd and final out. Hard hit baseball. First pitch swinging for O'Gara, but it ends in and out. The Aces lead it 3-2 through 4.5. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th. Big swing from Nicholas Draggett. Top of the order due up for the Ridley Raiders. 1, 2, and 3. Aiden Wong, Nick Polag, and Jaden Davis will be the 3 hitters for the Raiders. 3-2 lead for Lower Merion after the 3rd home run of the season by Nicholas Draggett. And Brendan, we were talking about it off air. He did not miss a stitch of that pitch from Jaden Davis.
No, and as I also mentioned, I personally have never seen a homer hit here in a high school game, and it also it wasn't exactly a wall scraper because you could see the people out in right center just turn around and watch it go over their heads.
I'm happy I didn't park in right center.
Yeah,
their car is somewhat close to the lawn there in right center field. I bet you that the drivers didn't think they had a chance to get a souvenir.
No.
And could have sat in your car and got that one.
I don't believe Nick Draggett is committed to a college. I don't expect that to stay the case for too long.
Draggett's 3rd home run of the season. He is the only batter in the Lower Merion lineup to have a home run this season. He has now 3 of them. Here's Aiden Wong. No balls in a strike. The next pitch from Heck in there for a swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
Well, they finally put a portable fence up at South Ardmore Park where Lower Merion plays.
No balls and 2 strikes the count. Heck through the windup. The pitch to the leadoff hitter. Fastball way outside. And this is where, again, Heck, who had that shutdown inning earlier, would love another one. Again, he chipped his tooth back in the 3rd inning. He stayed out there, had a big extra base hit earlier in this game. Fires high. Long grounded into a double play in the 2nd inning. He was at bat when Mansfield got caught stealing to end the bottom of the 4th. Bases empty, 3-2 lead for Lower Merion. The 2-2 pitch to Wong, got him. Goes back to the off-speed pitch. Justin Heck with another strikeout. So 1 out here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Here's Nick Polag, the third baseman, who also grounded out to first base to drag it in his first or second at bat of the game in the 3rd. And the first pitch from the southpaw here, breaking ball in there for a strike. Polag, a .312 hitter this season, 10 hits, 3 RBIs, 4 doubles for Polag. Senior takes the next pitch outside. Raiders have had their chances today. Go ahead, Brendan.
I was going to say, I'll get you some pitch count updates here in a sec.
1-1, chopped in front of the plate, rolling towards the third base line. Offberg just waiting for it to roll foul, and it does. So it's 1-2 to Polag, who easily would have had a single if that ball was able to stay fair. Offberg was just waiting for it to roll and eventually kept rolling.
Justin Heck just at 68 pitches here, so definitely.
5 strikeouts for Justin Heck. And the 1-2 pitch fouled off the end of the bat as Polag just barely stays alive there. And Brendan, Ridley has had its chances today. The bases loaded in the second and third with nobody out last inning, and they've had a hard time at just getting the big hit in this game. The 1-2 pitch, skied in the air, first base side. That's in somebody's backyard.
Just got a text by one of our sponsors, Pat Carney of Prime Bats in the outfield. He said that was about 30 feet over the fence. Absolute bomb. Of course, the father of Ridley catcher and right fielder Jaden Carney.
That was destroyed. The 1-2 chopped on the ground over to third. 1 hop for O'Quinn across the diamond in time for the second out. Good play by the Lower Merion third baseman.
Very good play because, again, third base is a brutal lip here, and I think he kind of, that's why those warm-up reps are so important because he knew that was coming. He kind of stayed back a little bit knowing it was going to pop up, and that paid off there.
So after the home run from Dragitt to give Lower Merion the 3-2 advantage, Justin Heck gets the first 2 hitters that he faces in the bottom of the 5th in order. Here's Jaden Davis, the pitcher on pitcher. He rockets this one in the air out to left center field. Scholes is over, so is Parsons. They almost collide. Parsons makes the catch in left center field as Davis kind of fooled me there for a moment by his hard run, eventually pulls it to a jog. So 1-2-3 inning for Justin Heck. We're headed to the top of the 6th. 3-2 lead for Lower Merion. Beautiful day for baseball here at Ridley High School. It's a 3-2 lead for Lower Merion against Ridley here in our Delco Baseball Now game of the week. It's getting late quickly on this Monday afternoon of this pitcher's duel. Mansfield is out of the game. Jaden Davis, who entered in the last inning for Ridley, will stay out there on the mound, and he'll face the middle of the order for Lower Merion, 5, 6, and 7. Uffberg, Spiegler, and Heck due up for the Aces, who lead at 3-2. It was Ridley who struck first. The Raiders took a 1-0 lead in the second, but Lower Merion has come back to take the 3-2 advantage after the home run from Nicholas Dragitt. The solo shot, last inning in the 5th. David Chepansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you again as the playoff chase for both of these teams, and really Delaware County continues on. Great time of year in the high school baseball season.
Yeah, and for both of these teams here, I would love to see them both in the bracket. If that means that people think I'm rooting for Lower Merion, that's not necessarily the case, but for the sake of getting both of these teams in, that's probably the best outcome here. But, I mean, both of these teams, have a ton of playoff experience over the last couple of years. Lower Merion made it the last 2 years. They won a game the last 2 years. They beat Conestoga last year. They beat Neshaminy the year before. Or maybe 2 years before, but they've been making it the last couple of years here. As for Ridley, They did not make the playoffs last season, but they made it every single year from 2018 until last year. So if they're able to get back in the playoffs, they could start themselves a new streak. But, I mean, both of these teams today, they're playing with a lot of purpose, and you can tell with the energy in the benches that this game feels like a playoff game.
And specifically talking about what Coach Quinn did with this Lower Merion program, and this is a program that struggled for a long time, let's face it, and he's gotten this team back to the postseason in back-to-back seasons, looking to make it 3 in a row. I think it's fair to say that perhaps it's been a little bit of an underachievement for the Aces this season. Chopped on the ground over to third. Off that tough lip, Offberg runs well. The throw from Pollag, though, is in time. They get a hustling Offberg for the first out here of the 6th.
I think it actually might be – this would be the 4th year in a row because they made it and they lost they beat Neshaminy, and then they lost in the second round. The year after that, they lost in the first round to Henderson. The year after that was last year, Conestoga. So looking for their 4th year in a row. I think it would be 3rd of the last 4 that they could win a game.
Sure, and here's Peyton Spiegler coming up now for Lower Merion with 1 out, but just really putting the program back on the map, and it's a credit to Coach Quinn and this coaching staff, but also the players who have really bought in. And this year, there are, I believe, a few more coaches in the Lower Merion dugout, but last year was basically Coach Quinn by himself.
It was a 2-man. Him and Brandon Musselman were their 2-man crew.
And they did a phenomenal job last year, doing a great job again this year. And as I mentioned earlier, under 500 record, started the season off hot, slowed down a little bit in the middle, but still an overall strong campaign. The 1-1, up the middle, the shortstop, Ladislaw to his left in time. So 2 groundouts to begin the 6th inning, 2 quickouts for Jaden Davis.
And this game has basically been the story of Lower Merion's season. They get great starting pitching. Nick Draggett does something really cool and is able to give them the boost. And now it seems like a lot of these games they're kind of letting slip away late. So if they want to change the narrative, that starts right now. It's now or never.
Justin Heck will look to help himself out again. Skies this pitch in the air out to right center field. Long way to go for Bub. The right fielder, Calamida's there. It gets past him. Heck wants 2. The throw is a good one from Calamida, but not in time to get the hard hustling Justin Heck. How about a couple doubles for the pitcher, Heck, today?
Yeah, and it was really hitting the perfect spot because they kind of were playing a little bit shaded over to left field with the righty bat, but he put it right in that right center gap there and was able to get to second base. So that's now 2 doubles for him as we get our courtesy runner as number 25. Different courtesy that will
Brendan
be.
Feigenbaum.
We got Brennan. We got Brennan. I'm gonna say either Feigenbaum or Feigenbaum here. So we got 2 Brennans and a Brennan. I like it.
So Feigenbaum will run at second base for Justin Heck. James Given with a 2-out RBI opportunity against Jaden Davis takes a strike right down Broadway. Given, in his last 2 at-bats, flew out to center and also grounded out to first. And actually, yeah, this is Given. Just wanted to make sure there. No balls and a strike.
There have been a lot of pinch hitters today.
And mainly on the Ridley side
Correct.
of things, but a lot of substitutions, courtesy runners here and there. So, been a lot to stay up to date with on the scorebook, but doing a good job. At least I think I am. 2 outs. And the pitch here bounces in front of Kearney.
We don't have the PR teams telling us, giving us little slips.
Little papers.
Yeah, little slips like you'll get in the big league someday.
Given looking for a 2-out RBI. Lower Merion leads it 3-2. Big hitter here for Jaden Davis. The pitch from Davis outside. Big night in Philadelphia sports, of course, as well. Flyers and the Sixers in action. Later on, Phillies in action, taking on the Marlins in the final game of that 4-game series. Quick pitch here from Davis, just missed outside. I like the decision there from Davis. Fired home there. Feigenbaum takes his lead off a second. Davis comes set, a long pause, long look into Kearney, and time is eventually called. David Shapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. Again, so glad you could join us here on Delco Baseball Now's Game of the Week. Lower Merion and Ridley. And boy, it's been a good one. If you're just joining us, still a lot of game left to go here on the top of the 6th. Pitch from Davis right down Broadway for a strike. So a couple of very hittable strikes that Given has taken in this at-bat. I believe it's 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Given. Ryan Scholes is on deck. Davis with 2 outs, steps off, looks back Feigenbaum, who's in there standing. But obviously a big hitter, big out at the plate potentially for Davis. The 2-2 pitch Actually, it was 3-2, and it's outside ball 4. Ball gets away from Carney. Throw down to third. Polag is in time. As Feigenbaum, the pinch runner, came off the bag, slid a little too far, and Polag keeps the tag down on his jersey for the third and final out. So Ridley with a little luck potentially there in the top of the sixth. They still trail 3-2, headed to the bottom of the sixth here on Delco Baseball Now. Let's see if the Raiders' bats can come alive. Bottom of the sixth, just 6 outs left to work with for the home Raiders. They trail at 3-2 against Lower Merion. David Shapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. Again, a ton of changes. The new pitcher is Spiegler, who will come in on the mound. He was originally the shortstop for Lower Merion. Peyton Spiegler is now going to be on the mound for the Aces. Spiegler, this season for Lower Merion, has had a pretty good year for the Aces. He's pitching just 4 1/3 of an inning, but has a 0.00 earned run average and whip of below 1. So, again, similar to Jaden Davis, the pitcher for Ridley, hasn't pitched a lot this season. The defensive changes, Draggett moves from first to third. O'Quinn moves from third to short. That's Aiden O'Quinn now at shortstop for Lower Merion. Parker Gregg is over there at first. He enters the game. Uffberg stays behind the plate. So, again, left to right on the infield, it's Draggett, O'Quinn, Roman, and Gregg. And the new pitcher is Spiegler. And he'll face 4, 5, and 6 for Ridley. Jaden Carney, who made that great throw from behind the plate to end the top half of the sixth, will lead us off, Brendan. So, again, a ton of change. They're keeping us busy.
Yeah, they are keeping us busy. And Carney had that ground rule double earlier in the game. One of the most consistent hitters for Ridley. He's got to get something going here to start this bottom of the sixth.
Spiegler's first pitch out of the pen is in there for a called strike at the knees.
His older brother, Justin, was a great pitcher for Lower Merion, I believe on the 24 team.
Coach O'Quinn beginning to pace on the first base side of things. He knows how important this game is for the Aces. Lead it by 1 thanks to Nick Draggett. There's a strike. It's 0-2.
Well, I know Coach Quinn is very big on the probabilities and the math of the formulas. Last year he was kind of helping me out with being like, hey, like this team, if this team wins, they're probably in. If this team loses, they're probably out. You know, so I know that he's crunched the numbers on this one.
Carney, a .324 hitter. Spiegler through the windup. The 0-2 pitch, fastball fouled back. Good cut there by Carney, who originally, again, was the right fielder. He moved behind the plate a couple of innings ago, so it stays 0-2. The infield playing a pretty normal positioning here. The third baseman, Draggett, is hugging the line just a tad, trying to prevent any doubles. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Bottom of the sixth. Base is empty. 3-2 lead for Lower Merion here in the playoff chase. The 0-2 pitch from Spiegler, breaking ball outside on the slider, and it's 1-2.
Dave, I think it's also right that we give a quick tribute to Yankees longtime radio announcer John Sterling, who passed today. One of the best of all time.
Yeah, truly a broadcasting and a baseball legend. John Sterling, may he rest in peace. Tough news this morning out of the Bronx. The 1-2 skied in the air. Out to shallow right field. O'Gara with the sunglasses on calls off the second baseman, Roman, and comes in to make the catch. Tough play as O'Gara had to run a mile, but puts it away for the first out. I'll bring up Tian for Ridley. Again, with Soper, who left the game a few innings ago. Tian will get a chance to bat for the home Raiders. Justin Tian takes the first pitch upstairs. It's 1-0.
His older brother, John, a great player for Ridley, graduated last year. Now just finished his freshman year at Lebanon Valley.
Tian with a .211 batting average this season, 4 RBIs, 8 total hits. The 1-0 pitch from Spiegler, just off the plate outside. It's 2-0. Ridley is down to its final 5 outs in this game. The Raiders looking to battle back and continue what has been a strong stretch. 7 wins in the last 8 games for the Raiders. Fouled back. Ridley dugout beginning to make some noise. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Spiegler gets the signs from Leo Offberg. Comes set through the windup in the 2-1 pitch. There's a strike at the knees. It's count even at 2.
Evan Nangle thought it was strike 3. He was halfway to the batter's box. So
2
it looks
balls, 2 strikes.
like Nangle re-entering for himself back here in this next at bat.
And the 2-2 pitch from Spiegler bounces in front of Offberg, and it's 3-2. Ridley would love to have a 1-out base runner here in the 6th and put some pressure on Spiegler, force him to pitch from the stretch.
Especially knowing Nangle could put one in the gap, and Tian's got speed from first.
And Nangle has reached base a couple times already today, once on a single, once on an error to the shortstop, Spiegler, who's now, of course, on the mound. Righty-righty matchup. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Base is empty. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. The 3-2 pitch slapped into right field, and it's dropping quickly in front of O'Gara for a base hit. So a full count single for Tian, who enters the game and creates a spark here in the 6th.
Things are going to be a lot easier for the Ridley base runners now having the righty on the mound as opposed to Heck. I would not think that Tian is going to take off with just 1 out in the inning. I think with the how good of a bat Nangle's been, I think they're going to keep him at first base. But I think if Nangle were to get out here, I could definitely see Tian. He doesn't have too big of a lead. They're already stepping off here, but I think that realistically with 2 outs, we could potentially see him get that steal.
A big at bat for the freshman Nangle. 5 hits, 7 RBIs this season. Now 6 hits, including his hit today. This one is off the mound. Diving stop by Roman. He's got it, but has no play. Hard hit single for Nangle. He puts the ball in play, and Ridley has runners on first and second with only 1 away.
Did that hit off Spiegler? I think it did. It took a wicked hop. I think
have.
It did, and hopefully not his tooth. But
we saw Heck get hit earlier in the face.
I think he's good. I think he was kind of telling Coach Quinn he's all right.
And that is really the one area with the pole behind the plate here that were hard to see, even down the third base line a little bit. But the good news is Spiegler's okay.
We might be getting Logan Bubb going back in for Evan Nangle. So that means Nangle's day is done entirely. You can be taken out and re-enter once. You cannot twice. So that means he's done. I understand this, like I'd mentioned earlier, like that decision to pinch run a little bit later in the game. Now knowing he can't come back in the game with Bubb's speed, they're just hoping that if they score, they can close it out in the 7th.
And a ball in the gap could give Ridley the lead. Raiders trail at 3-2, bottom of the 6th. 1 out. Runners on first and second after back-to-back singles. Here's Tim Calamita, the right fielder, facing the righty Spiegler. Spiegler comes set from the stretch in the dirt. Good block by Offberg. It's 1-0. There's not a ton of room with that second cage, that backstop, that really prevents the ball from getting too away from the catcher, but still a good stop from Offberg. Runner at second is Tian. Bubb at first. The pitch. In there for a called strike.
Looks like it'll be Jake Mansfield up next, and then we'll see if there's another pinch hitter in that 9 spot.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. Spiegler looking to dig deep. His team leads it 3-2. Looks back the runner at second. The 1-1, swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch there by Spiegler, and it's 1-2.
Wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to that one again.
Feel like you have to. He has a few pitches to waste. Ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, especially because he's not necessarily thinking about his pitch count right now coming out of the bullpen.
There is a big hole really on both sides of the infield, right in between the third base and the shortstop, with the shortstop, O'Quinn, kind of crowding towards the grass. 1-2 is outside, goes back to the slider. It's even at 2. Might have heard the dugout say Hunt fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tim Calamita. Twirls the bat one time. Spiegler looks back, tee in at second. The righty for the Aces comes set, delivers the 2-2, chopped up the middle. The shortstop, O'Quinn, falls back, flipped to the second for 1. The return throw by Roman. Yes, indeed. 6-4-3 double play by the Lower Merion Aces. And once again, the Aces play Houdini here at Ridley High School. We're headed to the 7th. Lower Merion's lead still intact. It's 3-2. Jaden Davis back to work for the top half of the 7th, but what an incredible double play just turned by the Lower Merion Aces. O'Quinn to Roman to Gregg. A 6-4-3 double play to get Spiegler out of the bottom of the 6th and that jam. Lower Merion still leads Ridley 3-2. Davis back to work. First pitch lined into right center field, quickly blooping, and will fall in front of the right fielder, Calamita. So a leadoff single here in the 7th for James Given.
And I'm sure the Aces would love to have some base runners on here for Nick Dragon again.
Here's Ryan Scholes. Scholes, who struck out back in the 4th inning. Obviously, Lower Merion, in addition to loving to have the chance of Dragon coming back to the plate, Brandon, boy, would they love an insurance run here, right?
Yeah, especially with, both of these teams' identities. Like Ridley's just not going away here, and Lower Merion, some of these games, the late just have not gone their way this year. And I know that just smoked my portable charger. Nothing wrong with the stream, though.
Also, too, something to keep in mind is both of these relief pitchers, Jaden Davis and Peyton Spiegler, have only both pitched a combined 9 innings coming into this game. So that's something to monitor here in the 7th. No balls in a strike. And this pitch is fouled back. It's 0-2. And there actually is a pinch hitter for Lower Merion, as it's not Ryan Scholes. It's actually Aiden O'Quinn.
No, he's in the lineup, so this should be a pinch hitter here.
So perhaps that was Scholes with the hit, but Given was at the plate when Lower Merion had a runner thrown out, so Lower Merion may have batted out of order.
Let's see what the game changer says here.
Because I believe this should be Scholes, but O'Quinn is batting. Next pitch skips past Carney, flying to second, and safely is Scholes. So Scholes is at second base. So runner in scoring position and no one out.
In the top of the 6th, Given walked. Scholes was at the plate when the caught stealing happened.
Scholes was at the plate. Oh, I apologize. I wrote the arrow in the wrong spot. That's my fault, Delaware County. I'll take one there. And
hey, accountability is the most important thing.
Yes, I had the arrow in the wrong spot for Given. So, yes, he did get on base in the sixth. So Scholes with the single. Aiden O'Quinn is at the plate. Runner on second, no one out. Still a 3-2 lead for Lower Merion. Davis steps off. Again, a very important insurance run. Duck on the pond, if you will, out there at second base.
Oh, I will.
Big at bat here for O'Quinn, who had a double in the third inning. Davis's next pitch in the dirt, hits off the glove of Carney, and Scholes will take an additional 90 feet. He's up to third base with no one out here in the seventh. A couple of passed balls from the catcher Carney, who again is at the backstop position for Ridley, but he was previously, for the first 5 innings, the right fielder for the Raiders. And the pitch from Davis, rocketed through the hole into right field for a base hit. And the Aces take their largest lead of the day. It's 4-2. Time is called after that big hit from Aiden O'Quinn, the RBI for the leadoff hitter for the Aces. Mound visit here for Jaden Davis, again with Lower Merion now leading the contest 4-2. Largest lead of the day for the Aces. They trailed 1-0, took the 2-1 lead. Ridley tied it at 2. Draggett hit the home run to right center field, a bomb to right center, to give Lower Merion the 3-2 lead. And now the RBI single from O'Quinn pushed the advantage to 2 runs, 4-2.
I think bomb might be a bit of an understatement for what Nick Draggett did to that baseball.
It was crushed. I mean, you love to get a distance on the fences here at Ridley. There aren't any distances.
That ball was probably 400 feet.
On the fences. I would think at least 400 feet. Maybe even 410, 415.
Must be nice.
That was crushed.
My furthest recorded homer is 381.
And that lefty power will play at the collegiate level, that's for sure. Charlie Parsons looks to extend the lead. Still no one out in the top half of the seventh. Lower Merion again fighting for their playoff hopes. Check on O'Quinn at first. He's in there safely. Parsons singled in the third, struck out swinging in the fifth. And the pitch here from Davis. Lined into left field for another base hit. Back-to-back-to-back singles. Station to station go the Aces. And the Aces still very much alive and threatening here in the top half of the seventh against Jaden Davis. And now it's really dangerous time as Nicholas Draggett steps in. He homered against Jaden Davis in the 5th inning. And now his runners on first and second. Can he do it again? The Aces have Ridley on the ropes. It's a 4-2 lead for the Aces. Pitch to Draggett. This time skied, popped up. Left field, third base side. Mansfield is over. So is Polig. It's well foul. Good chase there by Polig.
Still nobody out, I believe.
Still no one out. All 3 hitters have reached with the single. Scholes with a single to right. O'Quinn with a single to right. Parsons with a single to right as well. Pitch here to Draggett. Big swing and a miss as Davis, I believe, threw him a changeup. Took some off of it. It's 0-2. Obviously, would be a big out here if Davis can strike out Draggett and not advance the runners. The 0-2 pitch, fastball just missed. Looked to be at the belt, but a little bit outside. I don't think Carney or Davis was happy with that. 1 ball, 2 strikes. O'Quinn at second, Parsons at first. They take their lead. Davis comes set, still no one out. 4-2 lead, 1 run in for the Aces. Breaking ball upstairs, it's 2-2. Gets away from the catcher Carney. Good throw down to third. The tag by Polig got him. So the first out of the inning comes at third as O'Quinn is caught stealing, trying to advance on that pass ball. As Parsons does move up to second, but there's 1 away.
I'll tell you what, though, Jaden Carney looks like a natural right there behind the plate with that arm.
I think the glove work, as his coaching staff implied before the inning, potentially still is a work in progress.
Just the arm specifically, that outfield arm.
Was a rocket. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Runner at second, 1 out. Fastball just upstairs. It's 3-2, so Draggett works at full, and Ridley does have a base to work with as First base is currently unoccupied. See Davis stretching out that right arm. Again, a guy who hasn't thrown a ton this season, only 4 innings coming into this game. He's around 35 pitches. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch from Davis. Fastball lined up the middle. Diving stop by Ladislaw. Gets up and throws in time to get Dragic. How about Ladislaw flashing the leather?
Yeah, that's a play right there that if Ridley were to come back in the 7th to win this game, you're going to look back on that one.
Ladislaw with the dive and had plenty of time to get Dragic. That ball was scorched. So 2 outs. Parsons does advance to third. And Brendan O'Gara is the scheduled hitter for the Aces. And there will be a new pitcher taking the mound for Ridley. We'll tell you about the new pitcher who enters the game for the Raiders after this quick break. 4-2 lead for Lower Merion. Ridley trying to get the 3rd and final out of the top of the 7th. Ariel Kokaj is the new pitcher into the game for the Ridley Raiders with 2 outs and a runner on second with already 1 run in for the Aces. They lead at 4-2 against Ridley. Kokaj this season has a 4.42 earned run average. He's pitched in 10 games this season, tied for the team lead along with Mansfield, who started this game against Lower Merion. Kokaj has pitched in 12 2/3 of an inning, allowing 13 hits, 8 earned runs, has 6 strikeouts as well this season for Ridley, as he will look to get the 3rd and final out. And we'll see who's going to go to catcher for Ridley, as there's been a ton of changes.
Yeah, back to Davis. I think Carney's
for the Raiders.
They said all positional, so I assume it means that that Davis is going behind the plate. I would guess that Carney's probably going back to the outfield. All positional is confusing.
I would imagine that Carney is probably going to come out of this game, potential. But, I mean, he's one of your best hitters. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't see him out there in the field right now. And remember, the center fielder, Bub, has to stay in the lineup because Nangle was substituted technically twice. So that does not allow Ridley to change the outfield a ton. Mansfield, you would think, would be the only player who could move. Brendan is going to check on that.
It looks like they have Carney out in right field. I think that's all of them just in center field together out there. So it's I see 14. So
Carney
Carney's
moves
now
back
right.
to right. Calamita to left, who made a tremendous play a few moments ago. So Calamita, Bub, and Carney left to right in the outfield. Polig, Ladislaw, Wong, and Soper left to right in the infield. And Davis goes back to do the catching for the new pitcher who enters the game for Ridley, Kokaj. So again, Kokaj looking to get the 3rd and final out here in the 7th. He'll face Brendan O'Gara with Charlie Parsons at 3rd base, who did advance from 2nd to 3rd on that ground out to short from Dragic. David Chapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you again. So glad you could join us here on Delco Baseball Now's Game of the Week. Ariel Kokaj looking for the 3rd and final out to give Ridley a potential chance to tie this up. They trail at 4-2. Have to get this final out here. Breaking ball in there to O'Gara for a called strike. O'Gara 0 for his last 2 with a swinging strikeout and a scorched line out to the left fielder Calamita. No balls and 1 strike. Parsons takes his lead. The pitch is inside, goes over the head of O'Gara on a fastball. It's 1-1. Kokaj a little fired up, just entering the game out of the bullpen. The adrenaline is rushing, Brendan.
Yeah, he'll be heading not too far away, Williamson Trade School, to play baseball. And I'm not sure which trade department he's going into.
Near Westchester, I believe, right? Williamson?
I think that one's in Brookhaven, but I could be thinking of a different one because there's a couple that are around here.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count to O'Gara, the cleanup hitter for the Aces, looking to clean up this run and extend the lead to 3. The pitch, crushed, left center field. This one is down, going to split the outfielders and head all the way to the wall. Parsons is in. O'Gara trots in a second with a 2-out double. The Aces, with a 2-run inning, they lead it 5-2.
Well, they wanted insurance, and they got it here. Great piece of hitting there from O'Gara out of the middle of the order here for Lower Merion, and puts a lot of the pressure off of Peyton Spiegler if that's who they choose to go with again for the 7th inning. I would imagine that's probably who it's going to be, but regardless, they now have a 3-run cushion to work with.
4 hits in the inning for the Aces. As Brendan said, it's a 3-run cushion as the first batter, Kokaj face, lines a double to left center field. Here's Leo Ufberg looking to keep the hitting party going for the Aces. 5-2 lead for Lower Merion. Kokaj looks back O'Gara at second, comes home again above the head of Ufberg. This time a breaking ball. It's 1-0. What a hit from O'Gara. That ball, a double written on it as soon as it left his bat. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Ufberg, the catcher for Lower Merion. Kokaj looks back, fires, chopped on the ground over to third. Couple hops, clean up to Polig, and that's the 3rd and final out of the 7th inning. But the Aces put together 4 hits on 2 runs. They lead at 5-2. Last chance time. Final 3 outs remaining for Ridley after this quick break here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel. Final 3 outs, last chance time for the home Raiders, who have played some excellent baseball as of late. Raiders have won 7 of their last 8 after starting the season 2-8. Do they have some more magic in their bats? Find out in just a moment. David Chapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. Bottom of the order due up for Ridley. Scheduled to be Mansfield, Ladislaw, and Wong. 8-9-1 for the Raiders. Brendan talked about it throughout this entire broadcast, but Ridley has definitely had its opportunities in this game a couple times with runners in scoring position. Once the bases loaded, nobody out. Really, it just come down to that big hit. We'll see if they can put one together here in this 7th.
Yeah, it was really, you go back, I'm blanking on exactly what inning. I think the second they had the bases.
It was the second.
They had
bases loaded, no one out.
Bases loaded, no outs, strikeout, double play, and that really just felt like something where, you're in a spot right now where if you got 1 or 2 runs in that inning, it's a totally different game, and now you need the bottom of the order to get on for these guys, and unfortunately, if it gets to that point, Evan Nangle is out of the lineup as he was ran for twice, but for now, they got some work to do to even get to his spot.
And at this point for Ridley, you just want to find ways to put together base runners for the Raiders. That's how it starts. Bases empty, 5-2 lead for Lower Merion. It's Spiegler back on the mound. Peyton Spiegler started the game at shortstop. The righties, first pitch to Jake Mansfield is upstairs, 1-0. Mansfield pitched a pretty good game in this one for Ridley. When he departed, it was a 2-2 game.
Still a lot of life coming from the Ridley dugout here.
They've played very good baseball in the last couple weeks. The 1-0, there's a strike. It's 1-1. Obviously, Ridley would love to get Polig, Jaden Davis, Jaden Carney up to the batter's box here in this inning at some point. But again, it starts with the bottom of the order. And the pitch to Mansfield, chopped on the ground, slow roller, and it gets past the shortstop O'Quinn over towards the third base side. Draggett's got it there, but it's a leadoff base runner for Ridley, exactly what the doctor ordered. Mansfield is aboard.
Thought for a second there it was going to bounce over to Draggett, who might have been able to throw it to first, but Mansfield too quick to make that happen. And, you look back sometimes on these big rallies, and sometimes that's the break that you need to get things started.
Ladislaw, 8 RBIs this season. Pitch here is upstairs. Fastball in tight. It's 1-0. Luke Ladislaw, the shortstop for Ridley. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Mansfield takes his lead off at first. Spiegler gives him a look back. Now steps off. Again, the run at first doesn't mean a ton for Ridley. Lower Merion just has to find ways to get outs. 1 ball and no strikes the count to the 9-hole hitter Ladislaw. The pitch, fastball right down Broadway for a called strike. Well, barring a double play that will at least give Nick Polig a chance to bat in this inning for Ridley, that's definitely a positive sight. Spectators on their feet in left center field. The 1-1 pitch in there for a strike. Favorable call for Spiegler. It's 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes the count. Step off again, a quick step off as Spiegler gets right back on the hill. No one out. Runner at first. Ridley trails by 3. 1-2. Fastball. Got him for a strikeout. Ladislaw is down swinging for the 3rd time this afternoon. It's the hat trick, and that will bring up Aiden Wong. Back to the top of the lineup for Ridley. Wong, who struck out in his last at-bat in the 5th. He's been a good hitter at the top of the order for Ridley this season, a .271 batting average. He's had almost 60 at-bats coming into this contest, looking for at least a hit to keep the line moving. Mansfield takes his lead. The pitch from Spiegler. Fastball again at the knees for a strike. Wong did work the at-bat very nicely in his last at-bat. Saw 6 pitches. No balls and 1 strike to count. And the pitch from Spiegler. Whacked foul. Wong is in a hole. Quickly falls behind 0-2. Ridley started off the inning with a base hit from Mansfield. Ladislaw with the strikeout on 4 pitches. Now Wong behind in the count quickly. No balls and 2 strikes. Again, the spectators lined at the fence from left center all the way to right center. The Ridley faithful hoping for a miracle here in the 7th. Trailing by 3. 5-2 lead for Lower Merion as the Aces look to secure their playoff spot. And a step off here from Spiegler. Spiegler from the stretch. The 0-2 pitch to Wong, outside, just a little bit off the plate and low. It's 1-2. A great game pitched by Justin Heck. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. No earned runs. Lost his tooth midway through his outing in the 3rd. Also, he had a couple doubles today. The 1-2 pitch, again, skied foul off the cage. Stays 1-2. David Chepansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. Coach Quinn signaling to his infield defense, I believe the shortstop, O'Quinn. Wong looking to protect. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Spiegler gets the signs from Offberg. Looks back Mansfield and steps off. The 1-2 pitch is on its way. Swing and a miss. Spiegler got Wong to chase. 2 outs. Back-to-back swinging strikeouts from the Lower Merion righty. Nick Polig is the last hope for Ridley. Couple of groundouts in his last 2 at-bats. Runner at first. Tying run is on deck. Spiegler's first pitch to Polig, in there for a strike. And right now, if you're Spiegler, you have to continue to attack that outside corner at the knees, even if it's just a little bit below the zone. Looks like it will be called a strike. A lot of room in left center field if Polig can get it there. No balls and a strike. 2 outs. Outside, 1-1. Just about 6 o'clock here at Ridley High School. The Raiders, again, looking to come back and keep this winning streak alive. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Mansfield leads off at first, being held on, but he's not getting a big lead. The 1-2 fouled back, good cut there. It's 1-2 to Polig. Both of these teams hovering around 500. Lower Merion 8-10, Ridley 9-8. Lower Merion, as Brendan had mentioned earlier, the first team out of the playoffs as of today. They need this victory, and they're 1 strike away from getting it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Spiegler looks back Mansfield. Not a big lead once again. Gets the signs from Uffberg. And the 1-2 pitch outside again to the slider. It's 2-2.
You know, for Lower Merion's sake, if they close this one out, they take care of business against Upper Darby. You can probably have Brian Heck ready to go against Garnet Valley next Monday, and that's likely a win and get in game for them.
Lower Merion would love to get to that game. Still need a strike. 1 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs, 2-2. Fouled back, stays 2-2. 2 outs, runner on first is what I was trying to say. Good foul off there by Polig. Polig doing a good job just to keep battling here for Ridley. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2s are wild here at Ridley High School. 5-2 lead for Lower Merion. Spiegler ready to go. The 2-2, again whacked foul. Polig a little bit under that one.
I think we might be seeing an outside slider here.
Let's see if Uffberg sets away. He does, at least a little bit. Once it elevated, it appears. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch is upstairs. 3-2 to Polig.
And the question is, do you trust the off-speed enough where if you walk him, you now put up one of the best, arguably the best hitter on the Ridley lineup as the tying run?
Jaden Davis waits on deck. He's the tying run. Can Ridley extend the inning and get there? 3 balls, 2 strikes. Spiegler comes set. His team leads by 3. Runner goes. 3-2, lined into center field, and it drops in front of Parsons. Mansfield will play it smart and stop at second. First and second for the Raiders. Here comes Jaden Davis.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a great decision by Mansfield. You have no business trying to advance to third. Your run does not matter. At that point, you cannot end the game by getting thrown out at third. Could he have got there? I honestly think he could have, but there's absolutely no point in taking that risk.
It seemed like Parsons maybe deked
I think he
Mansfield
deked him a little bit
too. He deked me. I thought there was a chance he could make that catch, at least from our vantage point behind the plate. And here's Jaden Davis.
You got the top 2 bats in the Ridley order coming up here.
All the drama here, folks. Runners on first and second. 2 outs. Ridley with a tying run at the plate. It's their best hitter. Jaden Davis, the catcher, he struggled today. Spiegler, again, a young arm for Lower Merion, hasn't pitched a ton this season, looking to dig deep. First pitch to Davis, fastball, check swing, he went around, says the home plate umpire. Jaden Davis this season, 2 triples, 5 doubles, no homers, does have 8 RBIs, a .319 hitter, third in the order for Ridley. No balls and a strike. The pitch from Spiegler, fastball, swing and a miss. And now Davis really has to protect. Mansfield at second. Polig at first. Davis at the dish. Spiegler looking to end the game right here. Ridley's down to their final strike once again, and Davis calls time. A late time issued by the home plate umpire. Ridley's dugout making some noise. Spiegler's 0-2 pitch, fastball, yes! Strike 3. And that's the way this ball game will end. Spiegler with a strikeout looking. He has 3 strikeouts in the inning, sandwiched around a couple of singles from Ridley. And the Aces keep their playoff hopes alive by defeating Ridley 5-2. What a game here at Ridley High School. All the drama, all the dramatics late in this one. Spiegler slams the door Brendan, we have to just start with Justin Heck and how good he was in this game. Again, the final line for Heck, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs. 0 of them were earned with a couple of errors behind him, 5 strikeouts. He was fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean, what a warrior, right? To lose, we don't know the exact extent. I'm sure we'll catch up with him after the game, so make sure to check out those interviews on our social medias later. But to have something like that happen where it appears he chipped his tooth, stay in the game, battle. Also, not to forget, the 2 doubles at the plate where I believe both of those runs came in to score.
Just a really impressive day on the mound and also at the plate for Heck. And again, just giving some background on how much this win means to Lower Merion. The team is now 9-10. They were the first team out coming into this game today. They get a big win against a team that appeared heading into the game to be destined for the playoffs, still waiting to figure out their journey. And switching things over to Ridley, this is a team that by no means is out of it, but a tough loss for them today against Lower Merion. Really struggled with the bats, which has kind of been the bread and butter for Ridley, especially in this stretch where they won 7 of 8. They were scoring around 6 runs a game. The offense was coming alive, but they ran into a really good pitching staff today.
They just put themselves into a bad situation. You know, they put themselves into a spot now where they have to either beat Garner Valley or Haverford, who you could probably argue are
two tough teams.
2 of the top teams. I mean, Haverford looking to try and finish off the undefeated season, and for, you know, Garner Valley's sake is probably, maybe not record-wise, but they're talent-wise maybe the second or third best team behind Radnor and Haverford. So you can see how excited the Lower Merion guys are over there. Both of these teams now are in a spot where their playoff fates are not sealed, but for Lower Merion's sake, they beat Upper Darby, and they put themselves in a game against Garner Valley that is basically a win and get in next Monday.
And you would think, as you mentioned earlier, Brian Heck should be available for that game. So the brother, of course, of Justin, who started in this game, lost his tooth. We expect to speak to him in just a few minutes. But a gutsy performance from Justin Heck. Also had the 2 doubles. And, of course, Nicholas Draggett. Can't forget to mention the big homer. Brendan, you said you haven't seen one hit by a high schooler at this field. Well, you saw one today about 400 feet off the bat of Draggett.
Yeah, and like I said, I got a text from a parent out there that said it wasn't exactly close to the fence either.
That was incredible. Incredible power from the left-handed swinging Draggett. Well, that will do it for us from Ridley High School as the Lower Merion Aces come to Ridley and defeat the Raiders by a final score of 5-2 behind the great performance from Justin Heck. Today, again, we expect to talk with him and Coach Quinn coming up in just a few moments on our Delco Baseball Now social media. So I'm David Shapansky alongside my broadcasting partner Brendan Ricciardi saying so long from Ridley High School here in the heart of Delco as the Lower Merion Aces defeat Ridley by a final score of 5-2. Have a great rest of your night. It should be a busy one in Philly sports, and we'll see you